prefer Sucrose over Venti today. Now, do know I am AR34, and a lot of my reasoning behind this is due to the things I have to fight. Now, when I'm grinding my EXP, and admittedly, I've not been doing that much, and I really do need to get back onto it. I've been slacking. I should be AR40 right now, but it's been a few days since I actually grinded daily. Anyways, like I was saying, let's get back to the main topic here. Why do I prefer Sucrose over Venti? Now, do note, I am completely biased in this because wife over meta, fuck y'all, right? Wife over meta. Look at Sucrose, boys. Right? Like, wife over meta, 100%. Like, bro, Sucrose a hottie, right? But let's get real here, right? I've got my Sucrose at Constellation 6, which plays a big part in the why I use Sucrose over Venti. But regardless, even if I had a Venti at Constellation 6, I would not be using him. As for why, the Chaotic Entropy that gives me a 20% elemental damage bonus is extremely strong on Diluc, right? Or, well, any Cairo, Electro, Hydro, or a Pyro character, right? Extremely strong because her elemental burst, can actually absorb those elements, and then it deals that element's type, right? So there's a few combos I've ran that work extremely well. Best part about her, though, she gets 2 charges of her main attack, right? Of her E. Now, though, the CC on those, while it may not be as good as, say, the elemental burst of Venti, is still extremely strong. Because guess what? I swapped the Sucrose, I press E, then I swap off, and guess what? Everybody's picked up and thrown, giving me the chance to attack. Right? And then Constellation level 4. Every 7 normal and charged attacks, Sucrose will reduce the cooldown of Astral Animo Hypostasis creation by 1 to 7 seconds. Which is extremely strong, especially if you're running a Grimoire or a Catalyst on her that does that as well. Right? I.e. Sacrificial Fragments. Alright. Now let's go look at Venti's skit. Now, a lot of people will say Venti's just a better Sucrose because he's a 5-star and he has more crowd control. And while admittedly, yeah, your logic's not wrong there, right? I would still disagree because when you look at his constellations, right? Constellations aren't exactly particularly good, right? Oh, well, no, I take that back. They are, but only if you're maining him as your DPS is what I should say. Because he's designed to weaken people to Animo and increase Animo damage. Right? And to that I would say, why just run Venti when you could run Venti and say Jean, right? It kind of feels like you're forced to run another Animo character to maximize your damage with them. Which isn't bad, right? Like, there's been a few times where Sucrose and Venti just go really well together. The CC is unstoppable, you know? But let's go over his stuff here, right? So, up to here, right? While in the air, you can more or less get up to 24% Animo resistance decrease. Adding on Storm of Defiance, you would be able to get up to 44% Animo decrease if you were to use your E into your elemental burst, which most people do anyways. Right, you can also gain the additional 25% Animo damage, but in order for this to be potent, you need to be having a means to get your elemental orbs or elemental particles consistently, which, albeit, isn't hard. Now, the constellation-wise, right, Venti's constellations are designed to buff him and debuff the enemy, whereas Sucrose's constellations are designed to keep consistent crowd control up. Now, the main reason behind why I'm making this video is because of a lot of my friends have been like, why do you use Sucrose over Venti? Venti's a 5-star, Venti's limited edition, Venti has good crowd control. Both of these characters have amazing crowd control, right? Sucrose, having 2 charges and being able to reduce her cooldown, is the main priority for her crowd control, right? I prefer that, right? It's really easy to keep it up. Although, let's be honest, Venti's E also has an extremely low cooldown. But when it comes to the main reason why I will tell you to use Sucrose over Venti, it is because her ultimate picks up another element and actually works on bosses. Now, when I say that, I mean that when you use Venti's ult, you're using it for the idea of bringing everybody into one area and getting them off of you in a sense, right? You bring them all into an area, then you can drop your fucking other ults and you're ready to go in. Pardon my language, right? But the issue is that doesn't work on bosses, right? It doesn't work on the flowers. It doesn't work on the hypostasis cubes, right? It doesn't, right? You can't draw them to a specific area, which completely nullifies the reasoning why I would ever use his ult. Now compared to Sucrose's ult, which does work on bosses because it's an area of effect kind of attack that sits in place. It's extremely easy to drop that on a boss, and guess what? They're not running much. So when you have them in that phase where they're just staying there, particularly flowers, it's extremely easy to get damage in, right? So more or less what it comes down to for me and why I prefer Sucrose over Venti, at the moment in the game, I fight more bosses than I do just random mobs. But even when I do fight the mobs, Sucrose still has the same exact stuff as Venti. The crowd control, you know? Now, I know this video doesn't really, give you a bunch of reasoning to why, to like, which is better. It's more so, why do I use Sucrose over Venti? Not why is Sucrose better than Venti. Anyways, that's gonna do it for me. If you disagree, that's perfectly fine. I completely understand why someone would. But thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, please remember to like and subscribe, because guess what, guys? I'm actually nearing 50 subs, and to be honest, I didn't expect that at all, because yeah. Anyways, peace.